Let me drink some water. Hello, hi, welcome back to Human to Human. Today we're going to be talking about, I'm your host, Jessica McDonald. If you don't know, that's me. I'm Jessica. Follow me on Instagram at Jessica J. McDonald and us at Human to Human Pod. Anywho, didn't need to go into that right away. But today we're going to be talking about getting ghosted. And I was just ghosted. I don't know if I would say like I'm currently being ghosted or like the last I heard from this dude was like 4 or 5 days ago. The last time I messaged was like 2 days ago. Anyway, I'm currently in the process of being ghosted right now. And I think many of us might be wondering, why do I sound so happy? First of all, I want to apologize if I talk really, really fast in these episodes by myself. I know I often do. And I just get excited. I just get hyper. And I'm trying to learn to talk a little bit quieter. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. But this is why I'm actually happy right now, considering I'm getting ghosted by someone who I went on 2 really great dates with. Funny, fuck that shit. Anyway, when one door closes, another one truly opens. And this is like a weird, I don't know, it's weird to say that, but we're going to dive into being ghosted. The good thing, well, I guess there are good things. The good things, the bad things, my feelings on it. But before we get started, I want to explain 2 things. One, the reason I'm so happy right now is I don't know if I actually ever say this on the podcast, but I go to Ryerson University for psychology, and Ryerson is in downtown Toronto. So yeah, I don't say this, I don't know if I've ever really said this, but I go to Ryerson University for psychology in downtown Toronto, and I'm in my 2nd year. I'm finishing my 2nd year right now, and what sucks is right now, COVID, you can't really be a part of the community. So anyway, I saw this posting on this, Ryerson has a podcast called Are You Dating? And RU as in the letter R and the letter U as in Ryerson University, but also stands for RU as, the full words. Are You Dating is a podcast that Ryerson has, and they posted like maybe 2 weeks ago saying they were doing this episode that was like playing a dating game. So we basically played The Bachelorette, where there was one guy, 2 of his friends were there, and 3 contestants, and we had our videos off, and he didn't know who we were, and we like answered questions and stuff, and they ended up picking a contestant that he wanted to go on a Zoom date with. Spoiler alert, he picked me. That episode of Are You Dating is actually live now. I will link it in the bio if you want to go listen. It's like pretty short. I think it's like 15-20 minutes. It's a pretty funny listen. And also, I am so sorry for the mic movement sounds that happen throughout this. I learned the hard way. I can't do episodes holding the mic exactly how I am right now, because anytime I move, it makes noises like that. So I'm sorry. Lesson learned from this. And also, after this episode, I started recording video with my camera, so the quality is better. If you like to watch this on YouTube, check it out. Back to the episode, which is very exciting. And so that's why I'm like, despite the fact that I just got ghosted, when one door closes, another one opens. And that's actually not always true. Actually, I think it is true, but not in the literal sense of right now, how like I just went on this Zoom thing and I'm like, oh, another possible dude that I'm gonna go on a date with. Cool. When one guy just stopped talking to me out of literally nowhere. That takes me into our sponsor. Quick message for our sponsor. There's actually, our Pick My Brain is our sponsor, and you can go on, there's all these people's profiles, and you can book them and pick their brain and ask them a bunch of questions. So if there's anyone specific that you're interested in, for me, like, I think I'd want to pick a therapist's brain or pick an entrepreneur's brain. And there's tons of people on there like that. You can book them for a free call or a paid call, and kind of like learn lots about them. It's an amazing way to make connections. And once in a while, the CEO, Maxine, will host brain dating events. And it's not just for single people like this event that I went to at Ryerson is. But you kind of get thrown into breakout rooms with different people, and you get to meet really cool people and talk about really cool things, and it's a really fun experience. So being a part of the platform is a way to be a part of that community. You don't even need to be a brain, which is a person who has a profile, to participate in brain dating events. So that's something really cool to look into. And yeah, if you also want to sell your own knowledge or share it or whatever, like I have a profile up there, so if people ever want to book me to like have a one-on-one conversation, you can do so. So check out pickmybrain.world for that. It's amazing. There's incredible people on there. Okay. Back to being ghosted. Being ghosted fucking sucks. Like, that's it. It sucks. Like, it literally sucks. And I've been ghosted twice now. This is my second time. Awesome. And both were by Bumble men, but the first guy that I went on a date with, it was over a year ago, met him on Bumble. We went on one date, it was super good. Then we went on a second date the day after. That's intense, don't do that, but we just did it because other scheduling didn't work out. And then we were planning our third date and he blocked me, stood me up, and ghosted me all in one. And my roommate and I at the time, I don't know if her episode has come out yet, but Dana has an episode coming out soon. It's also talking about like simping and all of that stuff. So look out for that if you like to listen to episodes about dating. That's another good one. We learn a lot about that. We are both like simp city, like just we just fall too hard for guys too fast. So anyway, the first guy that ghosted me, when it happened, Dana and I, like him and I had planned to go on a date. He was going to come downtown and we were going to go get Thai food and whatever. And so when I would call, it would go to his voicemail. My iMessages weren't delivering. And her and I were like, did his car die? Did his phone die? Did he die? His parents were on vacation. We were like, did his parents die? Why are we such good people? No. This guy just didn't want to talk to me anymore. This guy dead ass fucking blocked me and was like, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm going to stand you up even though we had a date planned. Yeah, ended up hearing from him like 5 months later, mid-quarantine. Like, you know, people get bored in quarantine and they go crawling back. Yeah, I told him to go fuck himself. And then I actually had a period of time when I messaged him and then I was like, no, Jessica, what are you doing? Don't go back to people who ghosted you. But it's okay. It's all a learning process. So here we are, a year later, round 2. We're going to call this guy military man. You know why? Because he's in the military. And I'm sure he'll come up in other topics of conversation, you know, here and there in the podcast. But we went on 2 really great dates, just like the other Bumble man. And he came on really strong. And I think this is actually a red flag that I didn't see at first. But his love language was words of affirmation, and it was very, very clear. He was like always complimenting me and was like very forward about that. And I was like super caught off guard by it, but obviously very, very flattered, and I liked the attention. And after our 2 dates, we were talking about our third date, and we were like calling a lot and just like talking all the time. And that's really intense for like knowing each other for like a couple days, maybe like a week. So we're on week 2 of us knowing each other now, and he slowly messaged me less and less, but he like called me a couple days ago and we talked, and then I FaceTimed him a couple days ago, and the FaceTime didn't last long. It was kind of weird, but we would text a bit. But like the week before that, he was like constantly talking to me. And so I noticed the communication was a bit less, but I was like, whatever, we're both busy. And then like 3 days ago, he doesn't live in Toronto, but he comes back home to Toronto all the time. And he was like, he was actually supposed to come home like the weekend after and like didn't. And I was like, you said you were coming home. Like he very explicitly was like, yeah, I'm coming home in a couple days. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he didn't, and he was like, no, I'm coming home next weekend, which is like right now. And I was like, oh, okay, weird. So then like 3 days ago, I was like, hey, are you still coming home this weekend? Yeah, still haven't heard. So pretty sure he's not coming home. Pretty sure we're not going on a date, and pretty sure he sucks. But this is the thing. I think people come into our life to serve a purpose for like a short period of time. And not all of them are meant to stay longer than that. He definitely taught me some things that I didn't know, and he like served his short purpose. There were a lot of things that like if he didn't come into my life wouldn't have happened, and I will eventually tell that story later. That was like really important for him to come into my life to realize things. Yeah, we'll talk about that in another episode. But I also learned that like how he presented himself was a red flag, and I didn't realize this. Also, something I really want to talk about is that age doesn't mean fucking anything. Like, doesn't mean maturity. Like, they could be 27. They weren't 27. The first guy who ghosted me a year and a half ago, or over a year ago, he was 23 and I think I was 18. This guy was 23, almost 24, and I am 19, about to turn 20. So they're a couple years older than me. And guess what? That doesn't matter. I've literally never been ghosted by someone my age. I've only been ghosted by guys that are fucking older than me. Guess what? Because their maturity doesn't mean anything. So that's awesome. So, like, people who say things about age, literally fuck them. Like, one of my good friends is married to someone 10 years older than her. She's also, like, 27, and her husband's 37, and she's pregnant. Anyway, weird to say that, not weird to say that she's my friend because I'm 20, but, like, age literally doesn't mean anything because, like, me and her husband are, like, on the same maturity level. Me and a 23-year-old apparently are not, though. Age is fucking weird. So, yeah, that's 2 things. when someone ghosts you, honestly, fuck them. Like, clearly you shouldn't have dated, or not, you wouldn't want to end up with them anyway, because they don't have the maturity to, like, literally give you an explanation. And then at the same time, too, it closes a door to allow another door to open. Like, so many times when guys ghost me, I'm like, oh, last year, if you think about last year, the things that happened after this guy ghosted me wouldn't have happened if I didn't, like, you know. This isn't to say I wasn't incredibly sad. I was very sad. I cried to my mom at lunch in a restaurant about this. So it is so valid to be sad when someone ghosts you. It is a terrible experience. If this guy wasn't a dick to me, then I wouldn't have found myself the way I have. And I'm, it sucks this other guy's ghosting me, but you know what? Like, I'm learning. And the big thing is that, like, you can't see it coming. It's not your fault. Like, it's funny with this guy, I'm like, because I've been ghosted before, actually, once you've been ghosted, I don't think you can ever have that, like, you can't have the same mentality and the same, like, ease to dating, because being ghosted is possible. Once you've been ghosted once, you're like, okay, cool. So this guy stopped talking to me as much? Yeah, cool. He's gonna ghost me. Because you know what people are capable of, which sucks, but it's real. So with the military man, after a couple days of him barely talking to me compared to how much he was talking to me before, I'm like, yep, he's ghosting me. I know it, 100%. If I hear from this guy in the next couple days, I will be shocked. I will update you, but I will be shocked if I hear from him in the next couple days. Update, it's a couple weeks later. Didn't hear from him. Did not hear from military man. He officially ghosted. Because, like, so far it's been absolute radio silence. So, I really want to emphasize, when someone ghosts you, it is literally never a reflection of you, because it's not something you said, it's not something you did. They didn't suddenly just stop liking you. Maybe they started talking to someone new, but it is not a reflection of you. And it's hard not to feel that way, but think about it, like, this is about who they are, and the fact that they don't respect you enough to give you an explanation, or at least tell you they're not interested anymore. That's fucking pathetic. What? We're humans. Of course I said that, and it's called human to human, but, like, we literally are people, and we have feelings, and, like, not that I am owed an explanation or deserve an explanation, but I would like an explanation. And I don't know if I'm going to ever end up messaging him again and being like, what the fuck? Or if I'm just going to leave it be. I just left it be, and I recommend you do too. Because at this point, I'm like, why would I give you my time of day? I spent so many days thinking about him, being like, I think he's going to ghost me. I think he's going to ghost me. Or, like, he hasn't messaged me. What the fuck? And, like, waiting for him to message me when he's not going to. So here we are. So just know that, like, there aren't warning signs that you should be feeling like you're dumb for missing, because it doesn't exist. It comes from left fucking field. And that's just how it is, and it sucks. And the thing is, like, it can make us so cautious when we're gonna go date again, but, like, what are you gonna do? Live in fear? Be like, oh my god, what if he ghosts me? If he ghosts you, he ghosts you. Like, when I first started talking to this guy, he seemed too good to be true, and I was like, oh my god, like, what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't work out? And I was like, Jess, if it doesn't work out, we're gonna live life like we have been before. He's just another dude that kind of fucking sucks, and we move on. I'm used to being single. I'm used to being alone. I, like, love to just do my thing. Like, yeah, I would love to be in a relationship, but at the same time, like, this is a lesson to stop focusing so much on guys and just focus on me, and not prioritize, like, them over what makes me happy when I'm alone. And yeah, so there's, like, really no way to be able to tell if a guy's gonna ghost you. Now, I wish I could be giving advice on, like, what to do once he ghosts you. I mean, there's two ways to go about it, I think. And I think I've done both, or I'm currently doing the second one. The first one, I left that fucker a voicemail. I was like, that was really fucking shitty what you did, and, like, I don't want you to talk to me again, and I just think you should know that what you did was not cool. Who knows if he ever listened to it. And then the second option, so the first option is, like, telling them off, which you're not going to get a response. They're ghosting you for a reason. If you tell them off, you're not going to get satisfaction by them answering you. Like, if they didn't answer you before, they're not going to answer you now. So if you need to do that for your own sanity, do it, because I needed to let that off my chest that time. But this time, I'm like, what's telling him off going to do? Nothing. If he came crawling back and was like, I'm so sorry. Okay, cool. Bye. Like, I'm never going to give someone a second chance who's ghosted me. I almost did, and it was a mistake. So I definitely think that, like, It's about whatever you're going to feel best with, and know that you're not going to get closure. Closure's fucking bullshit. Like, sorry, I'm swearing so much in this episode, but like closure isn't, you're not going to get closure from someone who ghosted you. Like, they weren't interested anymore and that was it. Maybe they found someone who they wanted to talk to. Maybe they literally just have their own fucking personal shit to work through. Like, if you get ghosted, it is not about you. It is about whatever wacky stuff is going on in their life. And the best thing to do is bitch to your friends about it. Cry about it, like let yourself feel sad about it. I cried about it to my mom last year when it happened. This time I was like, yep, loser, okay. But no, for days I was like, Maya, I think he's gonna ghost me. Maya, like, what do you think? Should I message him? Should I not message him? And she was like, she went through it with me over and over and over. So trust me, I definitely don't just like think it's gonna happen and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, no, I spent this entire week thinking about it. It's just now I'm finally like, whatever, it's not worth my fucking energy anymore. Yeah, so I feel like that honestly encompasses everything. Like, you learn that not all of them are supposed to stay in your life. Some of them are just coming in to teach you something. Them ghosting you is a sign of immaturity, and honestly, them ghosting you means you are likely dodging a bullet, because why would you want to keep talking to someone who did that? So that's what it is. Being ghosted sucks. You're not gonna get closure. If you never want them dipping back in, block them, because at a low point, that's when I wanted to talk to this guy who ghosted me before, because he still had access to my Instagram or my phone number or something. Like, feel free to block the shit out of them. I may do that with Military Man. I may not. I don't know. But know that being ghosted simply sucks, and there's no way to solve the problem. And yes, you can fear that it's going to happen the next time you talk to someone, but... And the thing is too, I'm like, what qualifies as being ghosted? But I think what you need to do is base it off of how you've been communicating before. And if that shifts extremely drastically, that's when you're probably getting ghosted. Like, for me, this guy talked to me every day and now absolutely nothing. And so that's why I'm like, okay, cool, he's not interested, which is ridiculous. And it's just like, he just seemed so interested and now nothing. And I just spent so many nights and so many parts of my day being like, no, this couldn't be real. Like, he was so into me. I literally thought we were gonna date, this and that. And it's like, I genuinely don't think we can think we're gonna date someone until we've gone on at least fucking 5 dates with them. 5 dates with them. Because I said to this guy, I'm like, I haven't been on a second date in over a year. Oh my god, you know what I just realized? I have not been on a second date since the first guy ghosted me, and now this guy's ghosting me. So I don't think I'm ever gonna go on a third date, is basically what I'm saying. Like, literally, I don't think I ever could get second dates, let alone get a third date. So awesome. Usually I never go on a date. I never go past the first date. And when I go past the first date, I'm like, what the fuck do I wear? I wear the exact same thing on every single first date. I think that's a good thing to do, by the way, ladies, or guys too. Like, if you're gonna go on if you're in a dating scene where you're dating a lot, wear the same thing. Know your go-to outfit. And then when the second date comes around, you're like, shit, what am I gonna wear now? And then I was like, what am I gonna do when the third date comes around? Yeah, it never came around. But that's so crazy that the 2 second dates I've had literally since breaking up with my ex-boyfriend from high school, which is almost 2 years ago, the guys ended up ghosting me. And the thing is, I could sit here and think it's me, but it's not. Like, I love myself. I'm awesome. I'm funny. I'm outgoing and I'm confident. And maybe that's a lot for a guy to handle. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But overall, like, someone not being interested in you is not a reflection of you. You need to be confidently yourself and know that you're worth so much more than that. Be picky. Let's be fucking picky, people. Fuck these guys. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. If you've been ghosted, please message me, because I would love to know that I'm not alone here. I actually don't know if any of my friends have ever been ghosted, but it's also because I date a lot. Like, this is also teaching me to stop looking and to start focusing on myself and worrying about what makes me happy and not caring so much about these dates with these other guys. Like, obviously I'm gonna update you guys about the Are You Dating Bachelorette guy and if I go on a Zoom date with him or not. Oh my god, in this episode, editing Jess has had to record so many updates. I don't know why I feel the need to like give the updates though, because the only people that I'm aware that listen to the solo episodes are like maybe a few people that I like am acquaintances with, and then most of them are my really close friends who are like consistently updated about my boy life. Anyway, I did go on a Zoom date with the Bachelorette man. It went great, but we're doing this new thing where we're like not putting a lot of pressure on guy situations, which, like, I mean, shocker, spoiler alert, I often do. So if it goes further, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Overall, I'm just focusing on myself, enjoying doing the podcast, and I was going to say enjoying school, but school is hard. But yes, and do remember, not that anybody cares, I don't know why I assume people care, but not all my episodes are coming out in order. So I have an episode coming out with Dana all about simping in the next couple weeks, and we actually recorded that back in January. So I talk about a guy who's extremely irrelevant in my life now, but was relevant back then, like 3 months ago. But yeah, I'm really hoping by the end of May I will have all my pre-recorded episodes out there, and then I just want to be doing a bunch of solo episodes because I have the most fun with those. They're the shortest, they're great to edit, and I have pretty positive feedback about that. So thank you for listening, and caring about my life updates possibly, because if you're here, I assume you somewhat give a shit. But I also need to stop getting my hopes up about dudes, because I went on 7 FaceTime dates. I think I've been on 8 FaceTime dates in the past 2 months. I'm not talking to any of them anymore. So it's a waste of my time. So I'm just going to keep living my life, doing my podcast, being happy. Anyway, follow me on Instagram at Jessica J. McDonald. Follow at Human to Human Pod. Please subscribe. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you enjoy and love hearing about my drama in my life and the terrible men that walk in and out of it. But we're still doing good. We're thriving. I love you guys. And I will see you on Tuesday.